I shan't delay any further. Hello everyone, it's me Doomlink and welcome back to the Doomlink's Live Hunts series. What do you mean you shan't delay any further? It took me a long time to set up this recording, okay? We are back in the tried and true Generations Ultimate, the game that I play somewhat unwillingly. But I do it because I know that every time I will launch it, I will have people to play with and there will be a successful live stream resulting from that consistency within the community. You may be able to see that the windscreen has returned for the microphone, and I'm not quite as straight on as I was last time I was recording, but I'm still kind of straight on. It's not further to the side, it's not so much of a profile view. I'm trying to strike a balance between what I had with my windscreen before and without my windscreen in the previous recording and the recording prior to that one. I'm not going to get into why I'm, messing around with my audio and video setup, because the details of it are largely uninteresting to you. I speak in general terms. How do I know that it's generally not interesting to you? Because not a single person has commented on it, either live or in the VOD. None of you give a shit. You just want to watch me play Monster Hunter and listen to me crap on. You don't care if it looks one way or the other, you're just watching the video, it's irrelevant, so I'm going to shut up. I'm just drawing attention to it for the people who actually take notice and might think it's strange that I haven't said a word about the constantly fluctuating setup. But anyway, I'm going to get the Twitch chat up, and update Twitch, download size 22 megabytes. If I update Twitch, is it going to make it less shit or more shit? I'm gonna respond with no thanks, or I'm gonna select the option no thanks. It is an accurate reflection of how I feel about updating. Yeah, no thanks. I'd rather not. Okay. As is always the great conundrum. Where do I place all my glasses? I've got 2 glasses, a keyboard, a phone, a controller, a mouse, all on the one table, and it all needs to be nicely set out so as not to obstruct me and whatever I need to do. I'm not going to be typing on the keyboard, so it should be fine. As always, no specific plan as to what we're going to do. It is entirely random. That's part of the enjoyment that I at least get out of recording these. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Perhaps you would get less enjoyment out of these recordings if I were to literally have a plan. I don't know. I'm sure it would still be fun enough, but the uncertainty of it, and the fact that I just sort of dive into the community and just see what's there, I'm sure, is also a point of enjoyment for all of you. Now, oh fuck me, no, we're not... Yeah, about that. I must have... Oh, shit.
A paid membership to Nintendo Switch Online is required.
Do you know why this happened? It's because my card details updated, and so it didn't automatically renew. I fucking hate this. The fact that people... I'm sorry, I'm gonna go into this rant. I'm several years too late, but I don't give a shit. It is so inappropriate and almost incomprehensible that people have taken this crap lying down. The idea that we have to pay for an online gaming experience. Do you know how this all came about? The greed of Microsoft. That's how this all came about. And of course, all of the people who went and got an Xbox, oh, the Xbox, isn't it great? It was good in certain ways. But you know what wasn't great? Having to pay for online. There was a time when the Xbox 360 was new, when paying for online was a novelty, and not a good kind of novelty. Just a novel phenomenon that people would sit there and go, ooh, what's going on with that? I guess the Xbox is good, so I'll put up with it. I'll, get the Xbox Gold or whatever it was called. Well, guess what? That continued as, the only... Well, it continued along those lines with Microsoft being the only people doing it. And then, of course, the PS4 came out. You're gonna need PS Plus to play online, said Sony. Great. And then Nintendo, because they're always quite behind the curve on this, on almost anything, to be honest. They live in the 1800s, those guys. That's when the company started, and they honestly seem to think it's still the 19th century. But they realized, oh shit, our competition is actually able to charge people to play online. Why the fuck aren't we doing this? And so they finally realized in 2019 that they could get away with that. And here we are, again, in a situation where I have to get fucking Nintendo Switch online. Hallelujah. You really think I would... Let me just check to see what's going on. Do you know what this entails, ladies and gentlemen? And I'm going to make you sit through this shit. I don't care. Some of you are like, Doomlink, I'm here to watch you play Monster Hunter. Shut up. Shut up. I'm going to make you sit here and fucking watch this. What this entails is the updating of my card details while I'm live. Now, I'm not concerned about that. It just means that it's going to take time. Obviously, I'm not going to show my OBS game capture while I'm doing it. That is not my concern. My concern is the time investment and the fact that I'm live right now. I should be playing the game, not updating fucking card details so that I can do what should be intrinsic to the gaming experience. Playing online! I shouldn't need to pay for that shit. Oh, but you get cloud storage, cloud savings. Suck my dick. That should be standard. That shouldn't need to be paid for. The clue is PC gaming. Wow. Notice how you don't have to pay for it there? And you never have needed to pay for it there? Bastards. Anyway, so... What am I doing? I am going to... do... that. And then you get to enjoy a blank screen while I engage in whatever I'm doing. Which is essentially updating card details, going ahead with a renewal of my subscription, and then hopefully I'll be able to play the damn game. Oh, fuck off. I have to put in my password, of course. Yes. Let me remember it now. Hopefully it's the correct one. Wouldn't it be great if I have to start cycling through multiple passwords? Come on, baby. Let this be the one. Well, it's not even giving me... No! Don't send an email. I haven't forgotten my password yet. I need to work out what it is. Basically, I keyed in a password and it didn't even give me the option to say okay. I instead ended up... Oh, now it's giving me the option. Just pulled a James Nintendo nerd face there. Alright, let's just do it. Because you can't see what's going on, you don't know what I was reacting to, but it's essentially the password screen not working. Oh, I see. If it isn't... No, I can assure you that I did not... What the fuck is going on? So I keyed in the password. The previously blue-colored OK button grayed out. It was not selectable, but then it actually accepted the password, even though there was nothing to suggest that I had okayed the password. Anyway, doesn't matter. We'll keep on going. Yeah, give me a free trial. Let's fucking do that. Give me a free trial. If I can get one, I'll fucking get one. Yeah, I need to set a payment method to get my free trial. So, how does it work? I don't fucking know, but I'm doing the free trial. How does it keep giving me free trials? This is, I think, the third that I've taken. Yeah, purchase. Purchase my free trial. It's been purchased. What is going on? It's going to fail to renew because the reason why I don't have Nintendo Online is because my card details are out of date. So I'll just keep doing free trials on a card that can't fucking have payments taken off it. Great. Sounds like a fucking plan to me. So I'm on a free trial, guys, supposedly. Yes, close a Nintendo eShop. I believe that my work here is done. One can fucking hope. Alright, what's going on? Connecting? Is it working? Has my free trial actually begun? It sure has. There's almost no one to play with. Crystalbeard EX. Sorry, did I say Crystalbeard EX? I meant Nightcloak EX, because apparently it doesn't matter what the room information states. We're gonna do whatever we want. Okay, I think we're ready to start actually playing the game, and, yeah, going back to Twitch, blah, blah, blah. Alright. I was actually expecting the data transmission to fail there. This guy's name is Call Me. So far we've seen Chinese people trying to have people add their QQ account, and now we're seeing Chinese people trying to get people to call them, whether it be on some social media application or perhaps even a direct telephone call. I don't know at this stage, and furthermore, I don't especially care. We are doing Nightcloak EX. I don't know really what that entails. I have not fought Nightcloak EX, and if I have, I do not remember doing so. I'm going to keep with this loadout here. I'm going to make use of the slicing ammunition that this weapon shoots. I should mention that my game is too loud. I seem to mention that a lot, but I'm mentioning it again now, if only to get the frustration that is already beginning to boil within me off my chest, to possibly, I don't know, alleviate some of that pressure that's building, like an active volcano about to erupt. I'm gonna bring some nullberries. I don't think they're really needed, but my fucking speakers. You know when people have things that really suck, and what they do is they set up a camera and, you know, get a fucking exploding crossbow thing, like, you know, FPS Russia style, that sort of thing. I'd love to do that with my speakers, because they are shit. They are these crappy Logitech PC speakers. Let me tell you, look, I'm gonna go into this rant again. I don't care if you've heard it before, because I'm telling you, it needs to be said. You can fucking relax, Mr. Nesset Golden Boy, Golden Star Child of the fucking room. You can sit there and patiently wait for me to organize my ammunition. Alright, so what I was going to say was that I originally used a television, okay, to connect my console and play it, and visually and sonically perceive it, it being the game. And then I changed to a large monitor, a large LG monitor, which obviously doesn't have speakers built in, or perhaps not obviously. Some monitors do actually have speakers built in, but they're not common. That's the sort of thing you'd expect to get with a television. This is not a television. It does, however, have a 3.5mm output, which I have connected speakers to. Now, the speakers that were attached to the television in question that I was previously using, and I should add that I do still use this television for older games. This television, it's pretty old. It's one of the early flat-screen televisions, and quite frankly, the speakers are nothing to write home about. They are fairly average. Fairly average. So I thought, alright, I just want to be able to hear the game from this monitor. I do not need decent speakers. I really just want something that's audible, as long as I can get a rough idea of what's going on, and I can get some sort of audible recognition out of things happening in the game, I'm happy. And so I got some Logitech speakers that were around, let's say, 40 Australian dollars. I'm not making the US dollar conversion. You guys have the gift of the internet at your fingertips and can avail yourselves of Google services at will. But I paid about 40 Australian dollars for these Logitech speakers that are designed to be connected to computers. Doesn't really matter, they are... Listen, I haven't fought Nightcloak. I don't know what the hell is going on in this hunt. All I saw was an owl spinning, okay? And then I was dead. I don't know what's dangerous and what isn't, okay? I'm very unfamiliar with this hunt. So I got these speakers, and it turns out that they are absolute dog shit. They weren't even close to being the worst speakers I could have purchased. I had cheaper ones on offer in the shop that I went to. And, you know, I didn't want completely bottom-of-the-barrel speakers. I wanted very average speakers that could more or less do the job. But it turns out that these Logitech speakers are truly heinous. They just sound terrible. And, again, the volume control just pisses me off. It's... ugh. You know, I never realized just how much I valued being able to adjust the volume of my television from a distance using a television remote. But then when I couldn't do that anymore, and I was switching between... this is almost present tense now rather than past tense, as I'm incorrectly insinuating. It's very annoying because, again, 3 Ultimate and Generations Ultimate are two very different games in terms of audio volume. You know, Generations Ultimate's very loud, 3 Ultimate a bit quieter. And so I have to keep making these fucking adjustments, and if I... anyway, you get the point. The speakers do sound really bad, by the way. I'm not complaining about them because I can't change the volume at a distance. It's just that's part of my other frustration to do with the speakers. Anyway, that was, I'm sure, a most scintillating discussion with myself about my speakers being terrible. And now that I've got that off my chest, we can perhaps discuss the bird that we're currently hunting. He does seem a little different to regular Malfestio. I'm sure I've fought Nightcloak before, but to be honest, I don't have any real memory of fighting Nightcloak, so obviously I am ill-prepared and not at all well-placed to succeed in a Nightcloak EX hunt. Generally, if you're going to fight the EX version of a Deviant, you should at least be somewhat familiar with how to fight. I know what you're doing, sort of. Well, I knew you were after me. That was the extent of my understanding of the situation as it was unfolding. But obviously, if you're going to fight the version of the Deviant that leaves very little room for error, you probably want to have a clear understanding of how the monster moves. And I do not possess that knowledge. So that's problematic. I don't know how well I'm contributing to this hunt. What I do know is that Pierce is going to have limited effectiveness. It's not going to be entirely ineffectual, but it will not be as effective as, for example, or, well, obviously not as effective as slicing in this case, but particularly not as effective as it would be against a monster with perhaps a larger body, where there is more of the monster for Pierce shots to pass through. This is not one of those monsters that is really good for Pierce. It probably still works fine, but again, it's not extraordinary by any stretch of the imagination. That was a well-positioned flash bomb, but it seems to have been insufficiently well-positioned, which is unfortunate. I do like his little run that he does. I think that's a Nightcloak thing. I don't think regular Malfestio runs towards you like that, but maybe I'm wrong. Pierce level 1 I'm not going to use. There is obviously a temptation to use normal level 2, but given that I do have Pierce up, I think I would rather use that. To be honest, I don't think we're going to succeed. Sometimes just being able to survive for long enough in the quest to get the damage out is enough, but I don't think we're going to manage that. I feel a little bit better about my death before. I wasn't especially beating myself up over it for the reason that I barely know what I'm doing in this hunt. I'm going purely off my understanding of Nightcloak and I guess my general monster under knowledge, but yeah, my single feint now doesn't look quite as devastating as it felt at that moment, because we've now failed on account of what I would assume to be 3 other people's deaths, aside from my own. I'm going to hope that there are other options. I need to stress the fact that I only joined this room because this was literally the only option available to me at the time that I sought to join a room in the list of possible rooms in the game. I'm going to be Mr. Bad Sport and silently leave. Ugh, my neck is being a little bit unruly. Feng Chen, the man-like dog. Is this some kind of reference to the fact that Chinese people eat dogs? I mean, you're supposed to be Chinese. That's offensive to you. Don't be a self-hater, as they say. That's what Jewish people who make anti-Semitic statements are called. Self-haters. That's what this guy is. He's making fun of the fact that he likes to eat dogs. I mean, oh, it's Jon Snow again. Clear. Verdant Hills Missive. I don't even know what that quest is, but hopefully it's better than Nightcloak EX. We can only find out. I do recognize Jon Snow's name, just because it's got the fancy little symbols there, which obviously achieves something. I guess it looks cool. I don't really... Well, I guess this quest is fine. Is there a common elemental weakness here? Let's have a look. Not really. No. Oh, is it? Okay. Speaking of Chinese things, there is a viewer who is, in his words... I'm not even going to repeat the terms in which he explains or describes the way in which he's watching me, but he's at a Chinese restaurant and watching a game from his childhood, which is not this game. He's referring really to 3 Ultimate, but I guess this might also be a game from his childhood. I don't know. If your childhood was in 2018, I don't really know what to say, but yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it either way. I will bring... Yes, I know what to bring. I know precisely what I'm going to bring. Serra Sediment. Yes, sediment. It's your stream, idiot! Semicolon uppercase D. Okay. I've been called an idiot for reasons that I cannot even begin to fathom. Oh, I do need to go back to my Blade Master set. There we go. Doomlink using an item set again. Oh, count your lucky stars. You've witnessed a miracle. Okay. Let's now eat. You're calling me an idiot? And you can't even identify the difference between Generations Ultimate and 3 Ultimate. What's going on? Anyway, yeah, this is not 3 Ultimate. That is not the only game that I play. Enjoy your Chinese food, man. Anyway. I was way ahead of you anyway. I knew that you were referring to 3 Ultimate because you have commented on my videos before. Yeah, for good measure, I just made sure that the game selected on Twitch was Generations Ultimate, and it was, so both the title and the game information are accurate, so not sure what to tell you. Hunts are going poorly. I've already failed one hunt because it was Malfestio EX and the team was utterly incapable of handling the challenge presented to it, and I obviously contributed to the failure, so I'm not blaming my team exclusively. Well, I am blaming the team, and I'm a part of the team's reason for failure. Anyway. This is hunt number 2, and it should be a successful hunt for the reason that there are no hyper monsters, there are no EX monsters, and we've got a full team of G-rank people, all of whom are reasonably high leveled. So therefore, success should ensue at any moment. Maybe not at any moment. The quest will be over in a short space of time, and it should end in success. That's my expectation. Oh fuck! Now hold on. No, we're not doing this. This is a new keyboard, and I just slightly spilled wine on it. Fucking hell! I spilled wine on it because again, I'm trying to shift my fucking wine glass in it. This is the problem when your desk is just filled with things. I'll be back in a moment. It was a hurried clean-up operation, which was fairly successful. Is the monster dead? I think the monster's dead. Yeah, they're all leaving the area and no one was in combat, so the monster died and I contributed at least a little bit to the hunt. I need more views. What? More people watching me spilling wine over my new keyboard. The keyboard that actually replaced the other keyboard, which... Why is my controller not connected? Fucking hell. Yes, this works with the Switch. It works except when it doesn't. It's not... This has been an extraordinary recording and all of it's going on YouTube. I know what to do. I can re-establish a connection by connecting my controller to my PC, disconnecting it, and then forcing it to connect to my Switch. Please? Please? I don't even know what to say. It's not connecting to my PC because I haven't actually enabled the driver which facilitates connection to the PS3 controller, so it has actually just arbitrarily decided to cease connecting to my Switch, and I don't especially know how to resolve this issue. I guess, I'm just gonna sit up here. I'm contributing in some way, I'm sure. Windows R. Services.msc. Oh no. Okay, I'm not using system sound. Oh, the things that I do. Yeah, enjoy the landscape. That's one good thing. These guys are probably getting very impatient with me. You guys are probably getting very impatient with me. Let's see if this worked. Oh, don't kick me, you fucker. I'm doing my best, okay? Trying to re-establish my... I'll take it easy. I'm sure you people can get this done. You think I'm leeching off your quest? Morons. This is still not re-establishing a connection with the Switch. Why? Why did it lose connection in the first place? I don't have these problems. All of you can attest to this fact. I do not typically have controller disconnects on my Switch these days. I didn't do anything to disconnect it. It just fucking sat on my table and was behaving quite normally until it stopped behaving normally. It's gonna do it. It's gonna do it. It's gonna reconnect. Now it's just gone dead. Why has it gone dead? It's not low on battery. This is... Well, I guess that's conceivably possible. But what... What in the earthly name of shit is going on? What? Okay, let's try again. Okay, connection established to my PC. Maybe it did run out of charge? If it did, then we're in trouble. Okay. That's it. Last straw. Or rather, no. Well, I've already reached the point where it has been the last straw. Last ditch effort. Going to connect it directly to my Switch, which will work, but it requires, you know, a lot of effort. Hope you guys have been enjoying the hunt. I have been. It's been really good so far. There's been a lot of showcasing of the Verdant Hills. Sorry, the Forest and Hills, that's the real name. And I'll try to make it less dark in a moment. Two things. First and foremost, thank you for your patience. Second of all, connecting my controller directly to the Switch is actually allowing for my controller to function. It does not, however, work wirelessly. I am not within wired gaming distance of my Nintendo Switch, which means... You fucking heard it here first. These fucking things are now in use. And furthermore, I don't have the little thing where I slide them in and can use them as a controller. So I'm literally... It's like I'm playing a Nintendo Wii right now. That's how this feels. Back in the Monster Hunter Tri waggling days, everyone. I've not used the Joy-Cons in a long time. Long time. Look at me. Look at me playing the game right now. This is just absolutely ridiculous. This couldn't be... It's almost impossible for this to be less comfortable than it is right now, but I don't know, it's working somehow. I'm actually forced to use two hands at all times when... Oh fuck, I've gone the wrong way. I just don't even know what to say anymore. This has been incredible. Everything that could have gone wrong, I suppose, has gone wrong in this recording. I don't especially know why, it just has happened that way. I hope it's been of some entertainment to those of you watching at home. I don't even know how to go about playing right now. This is so uncomfortable. How am I gonna use a charge blade like that? I almost can't even coordinate my hands when they are apart like this. My Wii days are so far in the past that I can't fucking hack it, as they say. I mean, it's working well enough, I guess. Ow. Well, if I play poorly, it's only partially my fault, I'm gonna say. I've not used these Joy-Cons in so long. Oh, I suppose I can get in there and do no, don't do that. I can get in there and do something. Ugh. I'm playing the game successfully, look at me. It's working, sort of. No, that's the wrong button. Don't even know what I was supposed to do. I contributed, sort of. Sort of. I'm not carving anything, I'm pissed off. You know how some people go on a hunger strike? I'm going on a no carving strike. I'm not sure what point I'm getting across, but for reasons that I'm sure you can all appreciate, I am displeased. I'm putting my wine over there, where it will hopefully be less harmful to the things on my desk. It seems that 2 large monsters will spawn at the same time. Oh god, here we go. I should have paintballed the Astalos while it was in front of me, that would have made a lot of sense. But it seems the team knows where to go. I don't know where my Joy-Con controller shell, I don't really know how to refer to it. I don't know where it is. I don't think I expected to ever need to use it again. Let me rephrase that, I don't think I phrased that right. I don't think I ever expected to need that ever again, but today is the day when I do need it again. Get out of the way. You never know when you might need to stop swinging your axe. Sometimes just swinging your axe aimlessly to win does not work. Ooh, don't do an upswing. Maybe that helped. Maybe that knocked him down. Who knows? I will rip a shield to get my files back momentarily, but I will prioritize healing for the moment. Let me rip a shield. Hold on, I'll get into it. This is actually a good position to do it, I think. Timing, could have been worse, I suppose, technically speaking. It can almost always be worse. Perhaps one should consider more carefully if things turned out well. And what implications flow from things not having gone well if they didn't. Oh, shut up. I regret to say that I do not actually have the ability to resist roars with this loadout. I'm becoming oddly comfortable with holding my Joy-Cons in 2 hands like this. And I don't know if I'm becoming a better person as a result, but... Oh, my neck. Why is it in such pain today? Alright. Oh, God. Hair. Hair is always the priority. Alright, so after all that, we may actually be able to get some stable hunting. We may have a quest without failure, and we may have a quest without me running away to attempt to connect controllers. I don't know if you really understand just what I had to go through in attempting to reconnect my DualShock 3 controller to my Switch, which still didn't even result in me being able to do that, but it did end up resulting in me needing to use these, and this here, doing this, is extraordinarily uncomfortable. What? Why is my character moving? You just witnessed that. My character was moving on his own. If I didn't know any better, I would say my Joy-Cons were haunted. But I instead rather imagine that there is some kind of Joy-Con drift going on here, which is quite funny because there was no drift to speak of when I was last using them, which actually means that your Joy-Cons can drift without even being used. It's like they're on a timer. Oh, I have existed for X number of months. Time to drift. Thanks, Nintendo. Is my character going to move on its own again? No. I don't know, maybe it happens randomly, or perhaps my Joy-Cons are haunted. Anyway. Hope you all enjoyed what you just had to see. Sometimes I wish you didn't have to see these things. We've got another multi-monster quest that does not involve any hyper monsters, which is refreshing in a way. It's just different to what I'm used to seeing, so I'm not going to complain about it. Am I happy where I am? I think I am, yeah. I look fine. Whoa, he's fine. Common elemental weakness? Water. That's refreshing. That's why they're saying it's a fiery something something. It is fiery. They're all weak to water. Let's put out the fire. With water. Well, we do have Gravios involved, so that does tempt one towards ranged combat, and I think I will make use of that. That idea. That's a very awkward way to say that. We're going to bring Pierce Water, but I don't know what that is. Oh, that's right. It's Ludroth. Which is fine. The Drothdymian is a fine weapon, I guess. I just need to bring my coatings, and fortunately I have remembered to do that. So good for me. Let's not get them there. I probably don't have all of my coatings that I could possibly want in storage. I had best purchase them. Elemental level 2, power level 1, and I am very uncomfortable playing like this. I just thought that I'd let you know. I don't want to give you the impression that I'm somehow comfortably playing the game right now. I'm experiencing a bout of excessive discomfort, and quite frankly it's not going to go away until I can actually play this game with a real fucking controller. So, there you go. What's your name? Chiobi? What kind of name is that? Anyway. There may actually be nothing wrong with that name, and I'm just being very judgmental. Unnecessarily so. But I don't know. I'm on the edge of being in a foul mood. I'm still good-humoured about it, which means that I'm not truly in a foul mood, but if something legitimately frustrating did happen between now and the end of this recording, I may actually enter what can be referred to as a truly foul mood. We shall see what happens. Whatever needs to happen shall happen. Alright. I do have to tell you, it's like playing on a Nintendo Wii when you've got your Joy-Cons sitting in two hands and you're just resting your arms on the arms of your chair. So, like, my hands, or rather the Joy-Cons sitting in my hands, are not even parallel at the moment, and it just feels very odd. I'm used to having the functions of the left and right controller in my hand being part of a single object in my hand, or hands in this case, but that's not what's going on. And the only experience that I've had like this is playing with the Wiimote and Nunchuck. We're not splitting into two groups. I know it may please... Not a fucking cool drink. Cool drinks are not used to mark monsters, Doomlink, although that may be rather convenient. We're not splitting into two teams. I don't care. You can fucking solo that monster. I'm not here to play with myself and one other person. I'm here to play with 4 people. Sorry. I bet he's gonna sit there going, what's going on? Aren't you gonna support me? No. You can solo that thing if you intend on splitting away from this team. Alright. Oh my god, this feels terrible. I can't even... My mind just failed. I almost can't even comprehend. No input on any analog stick, and I'm currently running. I've got my index finger on the right button. How do you expect I should play this game right now? What's your recommendation? How would you suggest I play? Because I'm not constantly... I'm just so disgusted with this recording. I'm putting it on YouTube, I don't care. Basically, hello Peaberry, everything that could have gone wrong today has gone wrong. Okay? And it's partially entertaining. Partially. I just don't know why my Joy-Cons suck this badly. The reason why I'm not using my usual controller is because it's not working. And I found out that it wasn't working while I was trying to play the game. So that's usually the worst time to find out, particularly when you're live. So we've had to throw together some Joy-Cons that only sort of work. Ugh. I've gotten my head around what I'm doing with these Joy-Cons now, while using a bow. I was experiencing a logic error in my brain. No, don't randomly walk in that direction, please. If it looks like I'm suddenly walking in some direction for no particular reason, it's likely because my character's doing it on its own, or on his own, and I'm not intending to do that. Just assume that. If anything totally illogical happens with my character, just assume it's not me. Do your tail swing. I know how you work. Oh, you're not doing it this time around. Good for you. I'm going to save my power coatings... Stop it. I'm going to save my power coatings for a different confrontation. Why the heck... You people are so insistent on splitting into two groups that you've literally left me with this fucking Gravios and Jon Snow. Stop walking to the side for no reason at all. You are inexplicably ignoring my inputs on my trashy Joy-Cons game. Anyway. No, my controller is fine. It's just I think it's on low battery life and it's resulting in weird things happening. It's just not connecting wirelessly to my receiver that I use on my Switch to receive the Bluetooth connection of the DualShock 3 controller that I use. Anyway. I don't know why I just took that hit like such a fucking idiot. Could not have positioned myself worse. Don't limp away again. Where are you going? He's dead, good. I'm not carving because I'm not in the mood to carve. I'm in the mood to hunt with 4 people. These guys are not. The guy with a name that I cannot read, save for the character which I read as Ka, but it is not Ka because that's Chinese, not Japanese. That guy was so insistent on splitting into 2 groups that he pig-headedly continued soloing the monster until Chayobi went and joined him. So, good for the pair of them. I am at this stage running counterclockwise around the map just to reach this monster. And it's a brilliant experience. It's the best thing I could have ever asked for. That monster is running around, that monster being Brachydios. I know the attack. It's the I'm going to run around in a circle to confuse you attack. And I hate it. He actually does it in 3 Ultimate as well. I thought it was more of a 4th gen thing, but I've seen him do it in 3 Ultimate. He just does it less frequently. He really... Stop. I'm not doing anything! Like, what the fuck? It's not even... There must be, like, crossed wires inside these Joy-Cons. I don't know. There's some sort of manufacturing defect with Joy-Cons. I'm telling you. Everyone reports issues with Joy-Cons because they're manufactured like shit. That's the reality. The thing is, they're attached to the fucking console. They're intended to be used with the console. They are meant to be the controllers of your console, and they are terrible. Thanks, Nintendo. Seriously. Good for you, bastards. I bet the new Switch doesn't even have better Joy-Cons. I bet they're just the same. Same old Joy-Cons. Same old garbage. But I should say that Nintendo is not exclusively guilty of making bad controllers or manufacturing bad controllers. The PS4 controller, complete shit. And as I have heard, the PlayStation 5 controller is even worse in terms of reliability and longevity. So, to be honest, no one gets a fucking pass when it comes to controller design these days. Yeah, I'll just do all the work myself. In fact, from what I can tell, that's what they were intending on doing in the first place. They let me go and solo that thing. Dickheads. Apparently, Joy-Cons are also expensive to replace. Now that is disgusting. You know what? The Wii U Pro controller? Very expensive. I'm sure it's even more expensive now because there aren't that many of them, I would imagine. But in the past, very expensive Wii U Pro controllers. But they were fucking good. They were really good. They were reliable and very good controllers. Now, that's just an example of something that's very expensive that you're paying for in terms of quality. You've got a quality product that you pay for. Right? Now, it is unacceptable for the Joy-Cons to be invariably shit and unreliable, and for them to, in turn, be very expensive to replace. That is intolerable. Anyone who speaks fondly of the Switch in the future, fuck them. People who speak fondly of the Switch now, fuck them. But quite frankly, in 10 years, 15, 20 years' time, I will gladly decry, disavow, and completely tear to shreds any lasting legacy of the Nintendo Switch. I have no respect for this console at all. None. And I have even less respect for the people who made it. Dickheads. Fuck Nintendo. Anyway. There you go. Strong words, Doomlink. Well, they're coming from the heart. I'd better use my power coatings. I do think it's time. 100 Canadian dollars. The Canadian dollar is slightly worse off than the Australian dollar, so I've got a good idea of how much that is. It's effectively, like, I could comfortably say 90 to 95 Australian dollars, which is disgusting. That is foul. That's enough to make one's stomach churn. To have Joy-Cons that are, or to have controllers that are that prone to failure and breakage, to cost that much to replace, is so manifestly unacceptable that Nintendo should be hung, drawn and quartered, metaphorically speaking, for all time, for having allowed that situation for Switch owners. No hands, guys, no hands. All I did was put the Joy-Cons on my table. No button is being pressed right now, not even the shoulder buttons. Hand on heart, swear to God, nothing is being touched on the controller, and my character's got somewhere to go. Fuck these things. Seriously. I wouldn't have even experienced the awfulness of Joy-Cons if it weren't for the fact that my DualShock 3 controller is very much in need of charging. I know why it needs to charge. It's because I haven't been using it on my PC recently, which means I haven't been plugging it in. So it's pretty much just been used exclusively wirelessly with my Switch, and it just hasn't had the chance to charge. So that's all well and good, except that I'm live, and I need to have a controller to play the game. And that means I'm left with the Joy-Cons, which are unfortunately not really working, but they are technically working better than a controller that is out of charge. That's my review of these Joy-Cons. they are more functional than a controller that is out of battery life. Anyway. Gunzolino's review of Joy-Cons is, I'm at the point already where I would rather not play video games than play on Joy-Cons. Speaks for itself, doesn't it? And to be honest, I can understand where you're coming from. I'm experiencing the misery as we speak. The guy whose name I can't read has left the room. And, yeah. I'm still, currently, as we speak, uncomfortable while using these Joy-Cons. That guy can go and post his quest all he wants. I am looking for another room. This guy is screaming his name at me. Quiet! I don't know what you're hunting, but we're about to find out, hopefully. Anyway. Oh no, I placed my Joy-Cons on the table again. My character's going to do things without me actually making any input on the controllers. I really need to improve my sleeping position. My neck is just not good right now. Is that a Crimson Fatalis longsword? Look at that. Fatalis Rapture. I like the colours. Alright, do your prance. This guy's got the dual claw shots from Twilight Princess. Look at him. Good on him. He's got the standard... I mean, I don't want to accuse him of imitating other armor sets, but it's sort of a standard damage-dealing Blademaster loadout. Certainly what you'd expect with a longsword, because longsword only needs damage skills. I'll go and choke on bile, you fucking vermin cockroach cunt. You get that fucking high-rank deviant out of my face. You scum of the earth. Alright, that's Rust Razor Sienna. Oh, excuse me, I was about to say, don't worry, it's not high-rank Doomlink, but guess what? I don't particularly want to do an EX one either. So I'm going to promptly exit this room and look for a better room. I'm not in the mood to do EX deviants at this stage. Thank you. Once you've finished transmitting data and finished wasting my time, I shall relocate. Whenever you're ready.
Mikasa, haha, Mikasa.
Begin your castaway jokes. I don't even remember how I watched Castaway. I think it was on the television, and I never watched TV. I don't want to say I never watched TV because it's been so long since I've even had a television in front of me, like a functioning television. It's been 12 years since I had a functioning television, okay? That's how long ago I divorced television as a medium for entertainment. But, you know, back in those days when I had a functioning television but still never watched it, I somehow found myself in front of the television while Castaway was playing, and I was like, okay, let's watch it. And I remember, if you're wondering why I'm relating Mikasa to Castaway, of course the basketball in question was Wilson, and if you know any of the old Shingeki no Kyojin memes, you know, the Mikasa basketball with the fucking scarf, that was, you know, the premier Shingeki no Kyojin meme of 2012-2013, so yeah, fuck off with your miners wanted or whatever your quest name is, I'm not interested. But anyway, I watched Castaway and I was struck by how average it was, and then I went on with my life, and yeah. Amatsu with Ankris. Who will hunt the rain? Me, maybe. That is if they do not depart without me. We'll have to find out. Alright, put the bottle somewhere else, please. Do yourself a favor. Have you noticed that data transmission has been exceptionally slow today? I don't know what that's about. It's alright though. This entire recording can be characterized as one big time-wasting exercise. Although, giving you entertaining video content isn't in and of itself a waste of time, it's just that in doing so, I must waste my time. Which, in a way, sort of makes it not a waste. Can we You see, every time it takes a long time for data to transmit, this is what I expect to happen. But every single data transmission that I've had to endure hitherto has not resulted in this. So I was not expecting it. It came as a surprise that I failed to connect to this room. Let's try one more time. I would very much like to hunt the rain. But if I cannot hunt the rain today, I will look for an alternative room. Hey, it worked. What the fuck? I successfully connected to this guy. Has he departed without me? He hasn't. What's going on with player 2? Player 2? Has player 2 left? There is no player 2. So I must have no hands? Yeah. No hands. He's doing it, everyone. Doomlink's back at it again with his magic trick where he connects his barely functional Joy-Cons. And oh, look at that. Now that's a fucking magic trick. How does he go from making no input on his Joy-Cons and then walking to then not having made any input on his Joy-Cons and then cease walking? Like, how does he do that? If I drop my Joy-Con, it's only going to make it worse. The longevity of these Joy-Cons is slowly ebbing away. Well, not even slowly, it's actually quite quickly draining away at frightening speeds. Now, I'm going to try and equip something that'll be fun. Please. Let this be a fun hunt. I don't know if this is fun or not. I always use this loadout against Amatsu Magatsushi, whether it's Portable Third or this game. Also, hello, Tile. You've entered one of the weirdest recordings I've ever done. This is a recording where everything has gone wrong, and it's just mildly funny at this point. So, that's why I'm sitting here using 2 Joy-Cons in 2 hands. If you think that's strange, that doesn't even scratch the surface of what I've had to endure today. But, that's fine. Let's hunt the rain, guys. Ugh, I don't even know if I ate. I don't think I did. Rain hunters don't need food. My sustenance is sky water. Yes. Well, I don't know. I'd say generally my 3 Ultimate live streams are a bit more mental than the Generations Ultimate streams. This has just been out of control from the very beginning. Why are you facing in that direction? Honestly. I'm also somewhat shocked that I can play the game properly while using my Joy-Cons like this. I think it's because I used to do it jokingly. Back when I actually used a Joy-Con controller as my controller, which I only did for the first, I think, 9 months of playing this game, like from when it came out to, 9 months after, I would occasionally detach my Joy-Cons from the Joy-Con controller and use them in two hands, like separately. And I would only do that for mild entertainment, but it seems that in having done that, I can actually make this work. I've gone through the preliminary stage of avoiding mental breakdown while attempting this. I've gone through the mental breakdown stage of my own volition, and it's a historic thing now. I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, you heard me. A historic, not an historic. I do this weird thing called enunciating, so deal with it. That H, yeah, it's there, and I'm actually... I'm saying it, so there's no an to speak of. Deal with it. Sorry, that's a very random thing that I've just decided to discuss. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's deal some damage, let's do the best we can. Okay. Well, you see, a Pro Controller is a must-buy purchase if you don't get the third-party add-on that basically allows you to connect whatever controller you want to the Nintendo Switch. Every time I have been playing Generations Ultimate, pretty much from, I would assume, early to mid-2019 till now, has been done on a DualShock 3 controller, okay? DualShock 3. That is the PS3 controller. That's what I've been using on the Switch. The only reason why I can't do that now is because it's out of charge. I can assure you that's better than using a fucking Switch Pro controller. Because the Switch Pro controller is rather reminiscent of the Microsoft controller layout, sorry, not loadout. Get your words right, Doomlink. Yeah, similar layout, and I don't like it, okay? I like the Sony layout. I really need to get in a better position than what I'm in right now. This is definitely a compromising position. Well, you see, here we go. Tal says, even my Pro Controller got drift. You see, I'm doing this crazy thing where I'm using controllers from before the days when you'd get stick drift. Yeah. Remember back when things used to be fucking manufactured properly and well? Well, that's what I'm using. Some people actually struggle to appreciate and even comprehend that manufacturing standards have severely decreased over time. Well, guess what? It's not the only thing that's devolved over time. Humankind in general has devolved, and I would honestly say that basically everything that we've had our hands on has fucking devolved as well. People say it's dangerous to be nostalgic. I'm not nostalgic, I've noticed that everything's been going backwards, okay? In the name of progress, we've literally devolved as a species. I did my best. You can't actually accuse me of not doing my best, okay? Can we fail this quest now? Just kill that Wuzuk guy and just get it over and done with. Okay, well, someone brought insurance. That's 3 deaths. I blame the team. I completely blame the team. I did all I could in that moment. I think the team just wigged out. I think they were just like, huh? What's the monster doing? That's how I felt about that situation. Anyway. Perhaps that's unfair. It's the impression I got. It may not be an accurate interpretation of the events as they unfolded, but that's what I'm sticking to. Anyway, my overall point is that companies need to do better with their controller manufacturing. because it is not appropriate to be getting stick drift, okay? It wasn't very long ago, I mean, it was literally the PS3, Wii, Xbox 360 era when controllers didn't have this problem. That's not that long ago. At least it doesn't feel that long ago. And it's been happening since, you know, the generation after that. And it needs to stop. There needs to be some sort of... You know what it is? It's the over-engineering of things. The problem with progress and improving things is that you start to over-engineer it. Your budget, let's say, ends up being focused on stupid things like really innovative vibration on your controller. Ooh, real nice. Could I have a fucking functioning controller first? And then you can do your fancy vibrations on my controller, which actually, incidentally, have no effect on my immersion in the game that I'm playing. Thanks. You know, I'll get the cute add-ons once you've got a functioning controller. So this is what it comes down to, you know, it's all the nice new functionality of the controller. I mean, let's just look at the DualShock controllers, specifically. You know why the DualShock 3 controller was great? It's because it was a DualShock controller, a DualShock 1 controller, effectively, but it had an extra analog stick. It was, as I understand it, and I'm not hugely informed about these things, I will admit, it was mechanically the same thing as a DualShock 1 controller. They found a design that worked, they carried it through several generations of the PlayStation console, and they were rewarded for it. But unfortunately, they decided to over-engineer the DualShock controller. By the time the 4 came out, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the only one who seems willing to hit the monster. Fortunately, someone went and hit it, so we didn't end up failing the quest. Good for the team. But anyway, when I say over-engineer, we can take the DualShock 3 controller and then compare it to the PS4 controller. What is different about the PS4 controller? Well, it's got this fucking touch thing going on with it, right? Now, unfortunately, to keep that controller affordable, they obviously needed to effectively skimp on the standard, the manufacturing standard of the past. And so you get the stick drift and all of that business. So, would I rather have touch functionality on my controller? Or would I rather have a controller that doesn't break down in less than a year? Because that's what happened with my PS4 controller. I got a PS4 Pro in the run-up to the release of Monster Hunter World. That was a brand new controller. Within about 10 months, that controller had noticeable stick drift. About 13 to 14 months in, it was unbearable. From a brand new controller, and I did not punish that controller at all. I used it very normally. I have a very clear understanding of what it means to punish a controller. I can tell you that nowadays I'm a fucking casual gamer compared to when I would be punishing DualShock 3 controllers and they still functioned just fine. I had DualShock 3 controllers falling apart and they still worked fine. This DualShock 4 controller had been gently stroked and still started to fail on me. Okay? A clear difference in manufacturing standard. People shouldn't take this lying down. We shouldn't just sit here and go, oh well, that's the price of progress. No, it's not. It's the price of you sitting there saying, this is fine. This is fine, okay, whatever. Complain about it. Take them to task. Bring them to book. Don't just fucking sit there and go, oh yeah, it is what it is. Anyway. Maybe it hasn't been that way. Maybe a lot of people do complain. To be honest, if people are complaining, that's great, but there needs to be a change of tack because it hasn't resulted in an improvement of manufacturing quality, because we saw the DualShock 5, again, this over-engineering crap, and it ends up being an unreliable controller at the end of the day, because there's so much going on with it that doesn't relate to the basic functionality of a controller, that basic functionality isn't there. Or at least it doesn't last. It might be there as a brand new controller, but it doesn't last for the length of time that your console is going to last when you play it. I don't know if you people remember a time when technically your console would outlast your controller, but your controller would really last. You know, after 10 years you'd go, oh, maybe I'll think of replacing it, but it's still usable. 10 years versus, what, 24 months? And that's being generous. I've had issues with these things after 12 months. In the case of my DualShock 4 controller, before even 12 months had elapsed. So, are we really going to put up with this shit? I don't know. You had bad experiences with the DualShock 3 controller. You got drift 2 times? What? You see, I hadn't heard about that at any point. My personal experience never yielded stick drift on the DualShock 3, and I'd never heard about it. So, I don't know. I'm just going to assume that you're talking about a time when that was, you know, the newest console, when the PlayStation 3 was actually the newest Sony console, so... yeah, I don't know. I never heard about it, and I never had that experience, so... there you go. If it was, however, a later version of a DualShock 3 controller that maybe was manufactured when the PlayStation 3 Slim was out, or perhaps even not long after the PS4 had released, then maybe that's a different story, but if you are actually talking about the proper DualShock 3 controllers of that period, then that's not something I ever heard of, so... yeah. Literally the only negative thing I ever heard about the DualShock 3 controller was from Xbox players who would say,
when I pick up a DualShock 3 controller, it feels like a toy. It feels like I could snap it in my hands if I wanted to.
These fuckwits who want to hold a brick in their hand for long gaming experiences. And use batteries, by the way. Dickheads. They lapped up marketing like shit on a plate. Give me more of that excrement. The Xbox fans begged. Anyway, you can probably see which side of the argument I was on back in the old Xbox 360 versus PS3 days. But, he never lets it go. He never lets it go. Doomlink is still a fervent supporter of the PlayStation 3. He sure fucking is. And guess what? He owned both of them. He owned both of them. So, shut up. Anyway, I don't want to... well, he's doing Searing Sands now. I'll join. One was old, one was from the Slim era. I'm sorry to hear that. And surprised to hear that. I've had some pretty intense endurance tests that I've put my DualShock 3 controllers through. I've only used 3 ever. Yes, 3. So I have the one, or rather had the one that I got with my PlayStation 3 originally, and then I replaced... that one was honestly fine. I didn't have a problem with that controller. The only reason why I replaced that controller was because I got a modded controller. Ooh, remember the first-person shooter days when you'd get a modded controller? So that you could get the effectively a turbo button, as well as other things like drop shot mod, and it's ridiculous. It was a time when that was new and cool. I replaced that controller, that original one, with a modded controller. It was silver as well, and had the special mod button. That was fun, but that one had been modified and it didn't last as well, and after a time I really had issues with it, and I basically was smashing it around, and it was still functional, but yeah, I was literally smashing on the analog stick to get it to work, and it was rough. And then I replaced that controller finally in early 2014, and that's the red PlayStation 3 controller that I'm still using now, the one that I got in 2014. It functions just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So, there you go. Well, P-Berry, I'd recommend getting what I have, and that is a rechargeable battery pack for the Xbox 360 controller. I got one off eBay to play, God forbid, Sonic 06, and it's great. What's not so great is that it's got that really tiny barrel connector. I don't even know what it's called. I'm sure it's got a special name. Just like a little barrel connector, USB to like the fucking tiny barrel connector, and that's not great. But it recharges fairly comfortably. You literally just attach it to the back of your 360 controller. But yeah, what's going on? Okay, we've got 4 people. I'm going to equip some blunt loadout. A raw blunt loadout. Blunt dual blades will be fine. Oh, you're talking about an Xbox One controller. Okay. Are you telling me... Hold on. This is very important. Are you telling me that the Xbox One controller also used batteries? I didn't know that. Maybe I did it one time but forgot. No. No. Did Microsoft do a deal with the battery companies or something? What is going on? How did I not pick up on this? This just goes to show how much I disconnected from the release of the PS4 and Xbox One. I disconnected from that. I had so little interest. When I saw what a pathetic excuse for a next-gen console lineup that was, back in whatever it ended up being, mid-2013 when that was being announced. I don't quite remember. I think it was mid-2013. You know, and all the jokes about TV, and how bad the Xbox One launch was. Yeah, my take home from that was both of these consoles are shit, and I have no interest in either of them. But I did not know that the Xbox One controller still used batteries. That's horrendous. Anyway. As for using your controller wired or wireless, the couch gaming setup obviously lends itself to the convenience of wireless controllers. That's obvious. Now, those of us who experienced long periods of time, whether it be in our childhoods, adolescence, whatever, where we had long wires connecting our controllers to our consoles, it doesn't really mean much, does it? But it's cleaner when you don't have a wire. But to speak for myself, I've not really engaged with the couch gaming experience since I was a kid, so doesn't mean anything to me to have a wireless controller. But I will say that I'm quite far away now from my Switch, and it works really well to have my DualShock 3 controller connecting to my Switch, because I don't have a fucking wire. I've got plenty of wires. I've got a wire connecting my monitor to my computer. I've got a wire connecting my capture card to my computer. I've got a wire connecting my webcam to my computer. I've got enough wires already. So I think a wireless controller is rather nice. But yeah, it all depends on your setup. That's what it comes down to. Slightly off target there. It's always nice to be unable to pursue the monster because I'm being flinched endlessly by people. I don't even know where the monster is fleeing to. I'm going to guess this direction. I don't want the team to follow me assuming that this is... to be honest, I'm going to Psychoserum. I don't have any confidence. Yeah, I had a feeling that he wasn't going in this direction. It's very good of you, Unchrist, to have faith in me. He had so much faith in me that when I second-guessed myself, he's like, no, Lord Zor must be right. Well, I wasn't, okay? I appreciate the blind faith, but I was not right. And I apologize for not being right. I'm sorry, okay? Anyway. This fucking crab. You know how many times I've fought you? I'm sick of it. There was a time when you were cool, and that time is not now. I'm sick of you. Bloody crabs. A lot of people were asking for crabs to come back, though, in 3rd gen, so I'm not surprised that they did come back. It was an inevitability. I was one of the people asking for them to come back. I was definitely one of the people in 3rd gen who was going, where are all the Freedom Unite monsters? That was when I didn't know better. It's better for these things to be unique to those generations because it gives those generations more value. It makes them worth returning to in a way that you wouldn't have if literally every single monster in every single generation just kept coming back every time. There's no reason to go back anymore. It's fine for people who just want to play the newest games, but not so fine for people like me who want to experience what's special about each individual game. And there is always a balance of positives and negatives that is unique to every single game, which will always make those games worth going back to. It's just some people don't have time for that. It reminds me of the old Call of Duty days. I remember the first time when I witnessed this, you know. An example of this was when Black Ops came out, the first Black Ops came out, and all the content creators who were doing Modern Warfare 2 were saying, goodbye Modern Warfare 2, goodbye, farewell Modern Warfare 2. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why can you no longer play this game? And then I obviously realized what it was, is because they didn't care about what was fun for them to play. All they did was play the newest thing for the mindless audience that they were pandering to. So when Modern Warfare 2 was the newest game, they weren't playing COD 4 and World at War and COD 3. They were playing Modern Warfare 2 and only Modern Warfare 2. So by the time Black Ops came out, they were fucking sick of Modern Warfare 2. They'd been playing it for a full year straight. They needed time away from it. So they were saying, goodbye Modern Warfare 2. Just play everything. They're all good. I mean, maybe there's a bad iteration, but that wasn't particularly the case with Call of Duty. The reason why I talk about those games, which are quite frankly very different to what I'm playing now, is because I'm relating it to my own personal experience. That was the first time that I really witnessed people who just wanted to play the newest games. I don't know if that's a content creator thing. I don't think it is. I think that I definitely relate what I was witnessing to a content creator's objective to play the game that people want to see, which is the newest game. But unless people were also, like your general gamer, unless your general gamer was only playing the newest game, that wouldn't work in that sort of way. Content creators would not be inclined to only play the newest game. So, Really, what's wrong with people? The old games are fine. Just because something new has come out doesn't mean that you shouldn't play the old games. That's the point. It's like, I constantly get people commenting on my 3 Ultimate videos saying, oh, this game was so good. Like, was, past tense. This game was so good. I love this era of Monster Hunter. Like they're rediscovering it. Why are you rediscovering it? I don't get it. Why did you stop playing it? It never stopped being good. Enjoy it for what it is. And I didn't play the fuck out of 3rd gen. I mean, I did for try, but I paced myself in a sensible way. I was able to enjoy 2nd, 3rd, and 4th gen comfortably. I wasn't sitting around going, I've played so much of this that now something new has come out, I can't possibly look at this again for 3 to 4 years. Anyway. This is the sort of rant that I go on when I bottle it up, you know. It's something I've observed for a long time, but I don't know. It's just a strange thing where people just gravitate to the newest thing and play that exclusively. I've never understood it. I don't know, by the way, if I'm playing very well. I don't think my subconscious hunter within me can handle Joy-Con controller hunting, but I don't know, it seems to be doing alright. I haven't been dying or anything. Because, you know, comfort and experience with a certain setup is going to help your subconscious mind greatly. And I don't have much experience with using Joy-Cons, so yeah, I'm surprised that it's working as well as it is when I'm focused entirely on what I'm discussing and not at all on the game, but yeah. I'm trying to pursue Baroth at the moment. Focus on the weak monster, that is the correct strategy. I do usually enter demonized mode before using Bloodwind. I actually did not intend to use Bloodwind when I used it, I should mention. If you're wondering why I used it when I did, it's because I didn't mean to. That's why I was very much off target when it began. I don't want to carve you. Nibble Snarf is not in the area we previously were in. He is instead in Area 1, I think. I think this is Area 1. If it's not, then too bad. I didn't memorize the Monster Hunter 4 maps. Get out of the sand so I can paintball you for the benefit of the team. Are you really leaving? You've only been here for about a minute. You fuckwit. And Ankris was making his way to where I went, and now he's had to take the most circuitous route possible to the monster, because this monster is not staying in one place for very long at all. I didn't even successfully paintball you there. I fucked it. I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. Hitting the back, by the way, is most ideal. We've been over this. Only the tip of the nose, or rather the end of the face, which is the nose, is particularly weak. Outside of that, the head is not a weak point at all. So aiming for the back is best for consistent damage. If you're going for the most damaging part, you have to actually aim for the nose consistently. Which is annoying. Hopefully I can do that here. Well, okay. Whatever works, I guess. Let's use Wolf's Maw. I have not been using this. we're about to get attacked. The range of the tail is exceptional, by the way. You really need to be quite far away from the monster to not get caught in that. That was a very poor use of Bloodwind there. Very poor. Sand Breath? No. Charge attack. Yeah, that was a good flinch, actually. You'll notice that when it comes to the use of dual blades, I do not subscribe to the idea that Demon Dance greeting is the best way to play. Demon Dance has a place. You use Demon Dance when you want to aim for a specific part of the monster that is obviously weak. That's generally why you would aim for a specific part of the monster, or perhaps it's a tail that you want to cut. And what it does, Demon Dance, is it focuses all your attacks on one fairly precise point. That's the function of Demon Dance. It's not especially damaging to use Demon Dance. It's not your most damaging combo with the dual blades. And it's certainly not the best for getting your dual blades charge gauge up. The reason why people do it is because it's the least effort. Like, that you don't have to do much thinking. You literally go into demonize mode, press X and A, and you sit there and watch your character flail his arms around. There's very little engagement there. And some people gravitate towards that. They enjoy the strategy that requires the least amount of thought. It's definitely not the best way to use dual blades. A balanced use of Demon Dance is perfectly appropriate and encouraged, but Demon Dance greeding is not a strategy that should be condoned or encouraged. It's not the best way to play. Demon Dance has a place, but it's not some kind of meta strategy. The meta strategy is to take your opportunities as they come, choose whatever combo is most appropriate for the opportunity you've been handed, and don't greed Demon Dance like an idiot. That's the meta game. Anyway. And this is coming from someone who's not exactly a dual blades obsessed player. I'm not much of a dual blades fan, but you know, I've come across people who greed for Demon Dance, and I don't have much respect for those people. Well, it's not like I personally dislike them, it's just that I should say that it's not that I have little respect for the person. I have little respect for the strategy. Sorry, I don't want to make this personal, like, I think less of you as a person for using Demon Dance. I don't especially care, but I don't think the strategy is very good. Okay. When was the last time I spoke to you? Okay. Now, when was the last time I spoke to you with the intention of speaking to you? The answer to both of those questions is a very long time ago. And I do not seek to speak with you now. So shut up. I will top up my cool drinks. Down with this sort of thing is what this quest is called. Common elemental weakness for the most part is fire. Excepting the Astalos, which is annoying. I'm still tempted to bring a fire weapon. You know what I'll do? Maybe I'll bring the fire blunt dual blades that I typically... Oh, what's going on? Look at what he's done. He's done the power move. He's done the... I'm going to post the quest and then walk away from the quest giver. Uncris has actually relented. You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to do that. You're the room host. Assert your fucking dominance, you weak human being. Look at that. As soon as someone else posted another question, he's like, okay, I'll just leave. What the fuck? What an embarrassment. See which way the room sentiment blows. I've never seen someone just so immediately bullied out of posting a quest in their own fucking room. It is up to him to post. However he so chooses. It's his room. There is nothing in the room information that suggests... Well, actually, there's very limited accuracy when it comes to the hub name, but the point is that there's nothing in there that suggests that there are people taking turns in this room. That guy had hosted a room, and he's posting whatever he damn pleases, but I guess he wasn't willing to carry that forward. What a shame. This G-Mole guy, and I don't know how the hell to pronounce his name, that was my best attempt. He's gone and posted a very boring hunt. There was a much more interesting hunt that had been posted, but God forbid we have fun, right? Let's get the boring old hunt. Oh, bloody neck. Let's get the boring old hunt out of the way. It is Hyper Rathalos and Hyper Rathian. Fortunately not gold and silver. Oh god. It's one of these fucking people. Why haven't you responded to me? In fact, because you haven't responded to me, I'm just gonna leave. I don't like your attitude. If you don't say hello back, I have other places to be. That's basically the attitude that we just witnessed. What a vermin. Anyway. Hello, Donnie. Welcome to the room. I think I'll use a lance. Yes, I'll go with the dragon lance. That's fine. Donnie... Wait, am I the room host? Yes. Well, Donnie is not the room host. He is the new player 1. But he's not the room host. That honour belongs to me. A non-functioning steadiness +2, unsurprisingly, because he's using a bow. What's he doing? He's hunter rank 999. Look at this loadout. Hold on. This is in the ancestral step. He's using Tropic Hunter. Okay, so this quest actually is not going to allow him to make use of Tropic Hunter, and furthermore, he's got Steadiness +2. This is a skill with 15 points that is totally irrelevant to the weapon type he's using. And he's hunter rank 999. Again, I'm not sitting here nitpicking. His set is bad for his weapon, and that sort of thing is not acceptable for a hunter rank 999 player. Anyway. Well, that may be who that person was, Yamatori. I don't know. Kahit is currently unaccounted for. We don't know where he is. We don't know if he's actually preparing for the hunt or if he... Oh god, what is going on? Speaking of loadouts that are inappropriate for the weapon being used. Knockout King on a longsword. Stamina Thief on a longsword. Jumping Jesus. This really is a blowout. The hunter rank 999 guy can't coordinate a weapon with his fucking armor set. But sadly, Kahit is also struggling on this front. What is going on? Maybe I should just unequip all of my guard skills with my lance. But if I equipped Knockout King, that would still make sense, because my lance can actually perform impact strikes, okay? So, you know, that would still work. Maybe I should equip Steadiness +2 on my set. It is the dream team. These people are fucking dreaming if they think they've got decent loadouts for this quest. Alright. I didn't eat, and quite frankly, I don't care. I think I'll survive one way or the other. What are we starting with? I guess we've got Rathian, presumably in Area 3. I don't know where the Rathlos is, but I can bet my bottom dollar that we will engage the Rathian in Area 3 and almost immediately have Rathlos fly down.
Hey, are you attacking my girlfriend?
That's what we're going to have to deal with. And I'm sick of that sort of business. I'm sick of these monsters, by the way. I should make it very clear I'm sick of them. I'm sick of fighting them. I don't mind fighting the standard ones, to be honest, because I don't actually get to fight them all that often. Well, I was thinking I'd be countering the wind pressure there. I almost can't believe that I'm able to use this weapon with these fucking Joy-Cons in my hand. I must be developing some sort of resistance to the confusion that inevitably accompanies the use of these stupid things. My head must be in the right place, or perhaps you could argue, the wrong place. Sick of having to chase after this monster. I'm so sick of it. I regret the use of my lance already. Can I get like one hit in? I got one hit in. Woo! It's cause for celebration. Oh, God. Yeah, do your thing. Do your thing, Rathian. Your boyfriend's not too far away, I would imagine. I'm hitting the monster, guys, except I was before I was being flinched by inconsiderate teammates. No, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like being flinched as a lance user is somehow indicative of an inconsiderate team member. Being flinched as a lance user is just part and parcel of the lance experience when hunting online, so I'm not going to be silly about it. I'm not going to be precious, but I'm still pissed. I've spent my whole hunt up until this point chasing after the monster, and then when I'm finally gifted the opportunity to hit it, I'm on my hands and knees like a fucking... You know what I mean. I was going to say something that would be inappropriate to say in the year of 2022, but seriously, that's what was going on, and it doesn't fill me with much joy. Oh. Let's go and thrust into the head of this. I'm skull fucking her, look, ha ha ha. That's not misogynistic, no. It's a female dragon. It's a female dragon. It's okay to say that. Anyway. She's flown somewhere, and I've actually been proven wrong. I was anticipating the arrival almost, with extraordinary immediacy. Let me rephrase that. I was anticipating the arrival with extraordinary immediacy of Rathlos. And he never came. So, to be honest, I'm happy to be wrong on that point. Can you fuck off? I did not even intend to jump off, you stupid bitch. Read my lips. Fuck off. Look at this. I didn't even intend to jump off. I can't believe this. Alright. Heal up. Fucking 5 hours later. It's obviously much less helpful for the team to be fighting her here, because we don't have the opportunity to flinch her up there and then have her stuck in the ground. Because every time you flinch the monster there, I was hoping to be able to counter that. Did not happen. I'm instead rolling on the ground like a dork. Alright, do whatever you're doing. Ugh. Look at me slowly but surely shield advancing towards the monster. That was actually rather nice to look at. At the same time I shielded the tail swing. The light bow gunner evaded. Kahit is just being an absolute champion. He's a man after my own heart. I'm sitting here rubbing my thighs together, getting severely moist at the mere sight of him solo engaging the Rathalos. He's taking it for the team, and quite frankly it's getting me all hot and bothered. But yeah, I would suggest that that's actually making a difference. I think his decision to engage the monster, engage the Rathalos, is actually preventing him from coming down and interrupting our hunt with the Rathian. That never used to work in 2nd gen and 1st gen. There were people who were under the misapprehension that that was somehow going to prevent the monster from coming to us. That never happened back then. You would just end up wasting your time. It would not reduce the chance of the monster leaving the area and coming after other people. The monster would rotate when it saw fit to do so, and it would be generally prompted to do that more frequently if people were engaging the Rathian, if we're speaking about a Rathalos and vice versa. But I think it might be different in this game, maybe? And to be honest, I feel like I was immediately proven wrong, because we were fighting Rathian and Kahit was fighting Rathalos, and then the Rathalos just left the area with Kahit and tried to engage us in combat, so maybe it wasn't making any difference at all, the fact that he was engaging the Rathalos. I don't know. I do hope that we're all on the same page and that we're all, yes, looks like, oh god, here we go. What a nice trick. Never mind, a Rathalos is hungry for some Kahit. The guy who's screaming at me whenever I read his name is currently being attacked by a Rathalos. And please don't split into 2 teams. Can we agree to just commit to the fucking Rathian who's almost dead? Please. Die. I do generally like Conchu monsters, but not when they do that. I can really live without that sort of thing. I have a distinct feeling that I'm going to enter this area, Area 5, and at least one of these fuckers is going to be attacking the Rathalos. And I'm going to smack that guy upside his head with a force that'll rattle that little thing in that skull. Enough to put him out of commission for weeks. Alright. Maybe I'm oh no, I'd say perhaps the around the world may have drawn someone's attention away from the Rathalos and onto the Rathian, but you know, I have a distinct feeling that may have been happening. Someone had such an eye for the Rathalos, such a desire for Rathalos blood, that focusing on the weak Wrath came second to attacking the big red dragon. I could be entirely wrong also. I do sometimes engage in fantasy, where I believe that my team is actually as bad as most of the other teams that I end up on, but there's actually no evidence that the team is as bad as I'm imagining them to be. Statistically, there's every possibility that they are that bad, but again, you have to go based on evidence. You can't just prejudge the competency of the team in that sort of way. It's unfair, isn't it? I'm not going to go in for it. I will try to corkscrew jab this monster whenever I'm given the opportunity. Maybe initiate some sort of male pregnancy between hunter and dragon while we're at a new monster under lore. I'll tell you what, whatever eventuates from lore where a male hunter impregnates a male dragon, that would still be an improvement upon what we're getting in 5th gen, so I'll fucking take it. And that includes from a dragon. Well, looks like someone fucking rage quit. What a baby. What a fucking baby. He died once in his own quest, threw a tantrum, picked up his toys and went home. What a fucking loser. Now, that could have technically been just poor timing for a disconnect, but I don't think so. You don't often get that. Like, that is so extremely rare to have a disconnection with that sort of timing. He died and then left the room and disconnected entirely. That was a rage quit. The chances of it not being a rage quit are so phenomenally remote that it would be unrealistic to give him the benefit of the doubt. That guy just rage quit on his own quest. Without reason. We had even eaten for insurance. Technically, his death did not even contribute to any sort of failure. We are still effectively at 0 deaths. So I don't know what's going on with this guy. Not as good as a donkey impregnating a dragon. Well, this is true enough. Yeah, actually, you're right. You're definitely right. I wouldn't really want that for my future monster under lore. But I guess there is a precedent for strange interspecies sex regarding dragons, or relating to dragons. Oh god. Stop it. Leave me alone. Screamed Chris Crocker. No, Chris Crocker was not referring to himself, or herself, or... Sorry, itself. Chris Crocker was not referring to itself, but rather another lady. But anyway, this doesn't matter. I'm reverting back to memes that are ancient at this stage. Here we go. There you go. Jump on Kahit. Burn him to the ground. Oh. That was rather sultry, actually. That noise that I just made. I'm sure all one of my fangirls are squealing as we speak. Joy-Con pin removal? I don't even know how to refer to this. Getting out of the pin attack thing. I guess you could say button mashing. There you go, that's a phrase that I'm happy to use. Joy-Con button mashing, except I'm not button mashing, I'm just spinning my analog sticks around because it makes less noise and it's still very effective in getting out of being pinned by a monster. But you see, if I were to say Joy-Con spinning or analog stick spinning, that would probably be a little confusing. What's Doomlink talking about? I don't get it. please flinch before you... He did not flinch before he took off, despite my pleading with the dragon. It's not the first time I've been brushed off like that. Die, dragon. Yes! We jousted in that moment. And quite frankly, the dragon came off second best. I knew that was going to be the killing blow, but I would have much preferred to not have taken a hit. It would have been much cleaner had I done an aerial lance thrust into the monster and then killed it without being knocked back. I don't know, maybe some would argue that it was funnier or more entertaining in general that I did get hit for that finishing attack. But I don't think it's quite as smooth as it could have been. I'll do one more hunt. Just one more. I'd say that you deserve at least that much. Because technically a lot of this recording has been me stuffing around not hunting. There's been time spent renewing a Nintendo Switch Online subscription without actually spending any money. And there's been fucking around with controllers and, yeah, spilling wine and everything. The sort of thing that is fun for the whole family, that's what's been going on. But not as much hunting as I would like, so I'm happy to do another hunt. Despite having reached the 2-hour mark. I'm in a room with Donnie and Kahit, and depending on what is posted next, I may or may not remain in a room with Donnie and Kahit. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that guy's name correctly. Maybe it's Donnie. No, I'm joking. I don't know if it's Kahit or Kahis or Kart or Kahite. No, definitely not that. What I do know is that I need to scream it every time I read it out. Because it's in all uppercase letters. Oh, you've got some nerve. A capture quest? You want to know how I feel about that? That's how I feel about that. There's your fucking response to my... Well, that's your response to a question that was indirectly posed by you posting it. The question was, would you like to do this? Are you interested in doing this? By immediately leaving, I answered with, fuck no. Ya boys, says Mazakeen, who is desperately trying to connect with his fellow... I don't even want to use the term. Let's just say that he's a young'un. He's a young'un. Ya boys. It's generally what you get in replace... literally as a stand-in for thought. He speaks in phrases and simultaneously thinks he's being funny. This is not a G-rank quest, and I see no reason why we should be doing a high rank quest right now. I remember this weapon from 1st gen. I haven't seen it since 1st gen. It's not a particularly good lance in this game either, as it so happens. This guy's using a fucking tribal spear. Primeval spear. That's a notably shit weapon. Lance gang. Except that it's not the Lance gang. Well, I guess it's still the Lance gang, it's just -1 Lance guy. Nya Nya at Hunter rank 54 is doing an undisclosed event quest. Let's find out what it is. My neck is out of commission tonight. Tracen Rendezvous, but with an uppercase X. Whoa. Rondexvous. Instead of rendezvous. Yeah. Rondexvous. Have you guys met Rondexvous? Because I have. I love this guy. His name speaks to my soul. Can people stop posting high rank quests? I'm not here to do high rank quests. Rondexvous. Oh my god, I'd better accept his guild card. I'm going to regret it for all time if I don't take it now. In years to come, I will look back on this moment if I choose not to take it, and I will say, why didn't you take it? Why didn't you take that card, Doomlink? You were literally handed a golden opportunity on a silver platter, and you gave it up. But you see, I'd rather get Tang Hunting Horns, guild card. Can I just have a quest that's G rank level? I didn't realise that was such an unreasonable request or expectation. Jinx was posting a quest, but he's now possibly... Oh no, he has reconsidered. The unapproachable Yangaruga. Well, unapproachable or not, we are going to approach it. And not just approach it, but engage it in battle and kill it. So I think it's approachable enough. And if it is deemed to be unapproachable, we're going to change that very soon. I'm going to use a gun lance. It will be a water gun lance. I don't know if it's going to be especially fun to use a water gun lance against this monster, or, well, any gun lance for that matter. But I'm going to do that anyway, or do it anyway, because I have not recently used a gun lance on a Yangaruga. I'm actually willing to say that I have never used a gun lance on a Yangaruga in 2nd generation. I'm not too sure about 4th gen, it's possible. But 2nd gen? I don't think I've ever been possessed to... or possessed of the desire, however I'm phrasing the sentence. I've never been willing or anything like that to use a gun lance against a Yangaruga in 2nd gen. That's a very cute prowler you've got there. That is adorable. You are adorably evil looking right now. I'm gonna sneeze in a moment. Oh, goodness me. You know, I haven't had a proper meal in like 12 hours. Yeah. I wouldn't mind one of those soon. I'll have it after I've finished this quest. That'll be my reward for using a gun lance on this godforsaken monster. Again, it's Yangaruga in 4th gen. It's not 1st gen, remember that, Doomlink. It's okay. It's not a special quest anymore. It's not purple coloured. I was expecting to be able to evade through that, but the timing was not quite right for me to do so. My heart was in the right place, though. The poison has fortunately worn out. Or worn off, whatever you want to say. Definitely worn off, that's the phrase you want to use, don't you? Don't second guess yourself. You were right when you first decided that that was a fucking stupid way to phrase that. What? For a brief moment I thought the Garuga was poisoned and I was struggling to comprehend that. This is a solo operation against this Yangaruga, and I'm not enjoying it. Because I'm using very limited... I mean, what would you have me do? This is what happens when you're using a gun lance against a monster like this. It doesn't play out very well if you are the sole target. One can only have so much stamina. I suppose if you've got Mega Dash Juice, which I do, you can probably survive, but I'm not using it, okay? You truly are. You are a heinous monster. Withdrawn from the depths of hell to plague the hunting livelihoods of hunters everywhere. I'm so sick of this monster already. Oh, here we go. No. When you say thought, you... Ugh. This has been going around. This has been a conversation. No. It could. It could eat its own tail. I don't care who has definitively decided that Deviljho couldn't eat his own tail. He can. I've witnessed it. Sorry. That's the reality. I think it happened in Tri exclusively. It's possible that my memory of Deviljho eating his own tail sort of blended into memories of 3 Ultimate, so I thought I may have seen it in 3 Ultimate, but I actually had this conversation with someone in the 3 Ultimate channel of Hunsterverse some weeks ago, and I remember we were talking about whether or not it happened in 3 Ultimate, and there were some people saying, I think it happened in 3 Ultimate, but I don't think it really did. And what I said, and I stand by this, is that I don't have a distinct memory of it happening in 3 Ultimate, but I do have a distinct memory of it happening in Tri, and it did happen in Tri. I know it did, and yeah, it just, I witnessed it. That's really what it is. Yeah, people have been talking about it. It's spread around. Like, I started hearing it some weeks ago, and then that guy who likes to do clickbait video titles and thumbnails, particularly video titles, also did one as well about the subject. And yeah, I can only tell you that I witnessed it. I definitely did. I played a lot of Tri. I had an unhealthy relationship with that game where I basically lived on it, and I definitely saw Deviljho eat his own tail. It happened. And I'm willing to say that I haven't seen it since then, because it has been that long since I last saw it. It hasn't happened recently. He's definitely eaten it. I saw him eat it. I believe it was an arena hunt when I saw it. It didn't happen just once either. It happened 2 or 3 times in the time that I played Tri. Unfortunately, quite some time has passed, but if you could line up Tri players, like all of the Tri players, I guarantee you, that played a lot of Tri, they would all very comfortably say, yeah, I witnessed that, because it happened. It just happened. And it could have even been something like a bug. It may have not even been intended to happen. Maybe under very specific circumstances it happened. It's the sort of thing where when you try to make it happen, it's so much harder. But as you play normally, these things happen. It's sort of like the difference between specifically trying to get a gold crown for a specific monster versus just playing the game and you get them naturally. It's a similar sort of thing. When you try to actually go for it, it feels like it almost feels insurmountably difficult to get it done. It's the same with trying to get Deviljho to eat his own tail. I mean, it's happened because I've seen it, and I know for a fact that it happens. But, yeah. You thought you saw it in 3 Ultimate once, but I guarantee you that that's a result of your memories of Tri and 3 Ultimate crossing. Because I've had this happen. Because Tri and 3 Ultimate were so similar, certain memories that I thought I had from certain memories that I thought I had from 3 Ultimate were actually from Tri and vice versa. Because they are similar enough where your memories do get crossed, like the wires actually cross in your mind. But I'm quite sure that there's a higher chance of that being a Tri exclusive thing than it being a 3 Ultimate exclusive thing. So, I would imagine that Jinx has abandoned the quest. I do not know what's going on. I couldn't even begin to imagine what's happening right now. We had a guy... hold on. Why would you abandon? Anyway, this thing's gonna die soon. You could be... Well, it's possible. Yeah, it'd have to be something like poison meat, and no one noticed that he got poisoned by it. Gunzolino mentions that there's a possibility that maybe someone had dropped meat on a position where the tail had been severed, and we may have witnessed Deviljho eating the meat when it actually looked like he was eating his tail. It's possible, but we'd all have to not have noticed that he was poisoned. Obviously, if he... No, there's another possibility. It is that he had already been affected by status meat and then ate it again and then got nothing out of eating it. That's possible, yeah. That is definitely possible. And it's rare enough. You know, that circumstance, meat being placed on the ground and then the tail being cut and covering the meat, is a rare enough circumstance for it to align with our assertion that it can happen, but it's extremely rare. So, yeah, I'd say that's probably what it is. If he doesn't eat his tail, if that is an irrefutable fact, then that has to be what it is. It has to be that we have witnessed meat go down on the tail, and we haven't seen the meat being placed near the tail. And then we watch him eat on the tail, assuming that he's eating his own tail. I'm happy to accept that. I'm definitely happy to accept that. Yeah, see? There's a perfect example, Gunzolino. That actually tells you that certain memories are being... like memories of 3 Ultimate and Tri are being fused in your mind. That's what happens when you're playing 2 games over a very long period of time that are so similar. You know, the idea that, oh, I swear I used the Dragonator in the arena in 3 Ultimate, but actually it didn't exist in 3 Ultimate, it was only in Tri. I had a pretty clear memory of it not being in 3 Ultimate, because I very clearly noticed it not being there, and I was really pissed off about it when I saw that in 3 Ultimate. But definitely, if it's not something that immediately took your notice, it's definitely possible that you would think, oh, my phone's about to die. My phone is going to shut down in 15 seconds. Great. This is the last hunt, at least. It feels like this quest has been going on forever, but we haven't even hit the 10-minute mark yet. Astonishingly. But, yeah, it's an interesting subject, the whole eating of meat. And eating of the tail of a Deviljho. I just imagined that when a tail had been severed, it was treated as a monster corpse. And Deviljho automatically eats anything that is treated as a monster corpse by the game code. And yeah, it just made sense to me that the tail would have automatically been categorized as, you know, meat on the ground, effectively. And then I thought maybe that had been changed after that game, because maybe that would be considered somewhat unrealistic by Capcom or whatever. Although I have been informed that some lizards do actually eat their own tails. So, I don't know. It's an interesting subject. It's not the sort of thing that I'd really want to delve into beyond this conversation. I don't think it's that engaging, but the theory that it was in fact us seeing meat go down on a tail and then he's eating the meat instead, that's an interesting idea. And that would definitely explain things if he doesn't eat his tail. You know, it's not like we fucking hallucinated it. I know for sure that I saw it happen at least 3 times. Well, at least 2, maybe 3 times. So, there you go. and I didn't hallucinate that. It was just something that was understood that could happen back in Try. Well, that was that hunt. It went on for a little longer than I was anticipating because we lost one of our hunters, but it was alright in the end. I do thank you all for watching. That's going to conclude this particular video. This was a weird recording. Things did not go that smoothly in the end. We had some failure in terms of questing. In other words, failed quests. We had a lot of distractions from actually playing the game, but I'd say that was partially entertaining, and for that reason I'll just put the whole unedited VOD on YouTube. Sometimes when I'm stuffing around and not hunting and instead getting caught up doing other things, I just won't bother including that in what gets uploaded on YouTube, but I don't know, I consider this to be entertaining enough, so I'll at least let you see what it's like, VOD audience, when things don't go according to plan. I thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time I'm recording Monster Hunter or anything else that you'd like to see of my video content creation. And I bid you farewell for now. Bye bye.